Welcome to another episode of the Swords and Sports Podcast. One man's journey to read 52 fantasy books in 52 weeks and create 52 podcasts documenting the experience. I'm your host, Mike Mogues, the man embarking on this journey. And this week, I'm so excited for the exact 1 year return of the one and only Big Bad Ben Galley, winner of awards, critically acclaimed author, and also, specifically for this instance, another Spiffbo 7 finalist. He's here to talk about his book, The Forever King. And honestly, if you want an incredible look into the self-pub industry and how you could be doing better in the one thing that everybody hates, which is marketing, this is a great interview for you. If you want dumb shit, this is also a great interview for you. So stick around. That's, of course, coming up after all the book announcements, or book details. Book announcements, I guess, would, be if I had a book. I don't. Shout out to me. It's Christmas week. So, first off, this is my present to you all. And your present to me is your continued support. I'm so appreciative. This is the 50th author interview this year. If you think I'm not working hard, well then, you're right in a lot of other areas. But in this area, I'm working pretty hard. As a quick self-promo, you can find this podcast on all your podcast listening platforms. That includes Apple. That includes Spotify. That includes the other ones. You know what they are because you use them. I don't know what they are because I don't use them. But the show is on there. I can guarantee. And if it's not, I don't know how you're watching this or listening to this. But if it's, you're listening to it on one platform and you prefer it on another platform, please let me know. I'll do my best. And of course, the YouTube channel. Ben is a visual guy. He's a good-looking dude. And if you want to see that in more detail, you can check out the YouTube channel. All of those are Swords and Sports. And of course, the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, all the good ones, at Swords and Sports. The book details. The book is The Forever King. The author is Big Bad Ben Galley. The series is the Scalussen Chronicles. It's really hard to say. I'm sorry, Ben. It was published on December 1st, 2020. So, wow. Actually, I'm thinking about it. When we talked to Ben last year, this is when I had my co-host, shout out to Natalie, his book had just come out, and we were like, oh, cool, you got a new pub, and now we're talking about that book. Holy shit, does time fly. It is 664 pages, so not a short read, but by no means a boring read. And of course, as I mentioned, it's self-pub. As a spoiler warning, this podcast contains spoilers for the following book, The Forever King by Big Bad Ben Galley. So if you have not read it yet, consider this your one of 3 warnings. Without further ado, someone I'm now consider a friend, the one and only Big Bad Ben Galley. It's the 50th author interview of the year, and that meant I had to bring on an extra special guest. It's the return of Big Bad Ben Galley. He's here to talk about his book, The Forever King. So Ben, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Pleasure to be here. I can't believe it's been a year. I feel like it's all been a blur, but yeah, thank you. Great to be here. Looking forward to chatting fantasy and all sorts of other rubbish.
Yeah, let's start off right there. In 1 year, nothing has changed for me, but in 1 year, a lot has changed for you.
It has been a busy year. Yeah, I'm trying to think actually, what this time last year we had a new book out, December 1st. So another book's happened since then. Kickstarter, moved house as well.
Yes, you did.
Place in Canada. So yeah, it's been busy. Yeah, professional and personal stuff going down left, right, and center. So yeah, can't complain.
I feel obliged to make fun of Canada and say I can't imagine one place in Canada was any different than another. But tell me about the move. How'd it go?
Yeah, didn't go far. I was on Vancouver Island beforehand, and I've just gone across to Vancouver, which is big city. I'm switching kind of like a 4th floor apartment and just not very kind of sheltered view full of concrete up to I just want to be 19th floor, and yeah, it's quite a change right in the heart of downtown Vancouver. I'm loving it. Yeah, I needed a bit of more of more kind of choices. Victoria's fine. Been there for 4 or 5 years. It's wonderful. I love it. I do miss it. But once you've done, the pubs and the
right.
2 clubs, and all the restaurants and stuff, once or twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10, yeah, I don't know. I always move on every sort of 4 or 5 years anyway. I always have since I was a kid. So yeah, why not? Big City Galley, as I'm calling myself at the moment.
That what you're calling? I like it.
Big City Galley, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking the city by storm, I'm sure. You had to take like ferries to move?
Yes, three ferries. Yeah, so
That's
it
bizarre.
was over 2 days. I know. I don't know. They wouldn't let us move in and move out on the same day. They told us to move out the day before, which is great fun. So yeah, and of course it's an island, so hour and a half ferry each way. Yeah, just kind of how you do it. But there was the fun part of getting the third and final ferry back at 11:30 at night. And my car's battery died, and I was kind of just at the front row of the ferry. Had to be jump started very quickly. That was fun. Yeah, just a little cherry on the cake of a day that was kind of stressful. Everything went to plan, but stressful.
How badly did people freak the fuck out when your car was stuck there?
Luckily, it's not a very small ferry. It's got multiple lanes, but the woman behind me was not happy. Yeah, holding everyone up on the last ferry of the day. Always good.
This would have been a good time to have not been banned from portal magic.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, magic would make everything simpler. Because I was just watching redoing all the Harry Potters, because it's very it's like a Christmas film, right? Harry Potter. I think Christmas features in every single one of the films, at least. Yeah, definitely. I think I'll put my money on that.
We'll put my facts department on that.
That's it. Yeah. So redoing that, and I'm just like, oh, those wizards have it easy, don't they? Just clean this up, restore that. I can't remember the spell names, but yeah.
But why are you banned from portal magic? I'm sure at one time you could do it.
I think me, probably Rob Hayes, and Michael Fletcher are probably banned from a lot of stuff in the magic world if it existed. Portal magic, I think there was just a tweet that I didn't think up beyond that. Let's say, I was going to say snooping around, but it's a little bit kind of seedy.
Snooping around, yeah, I guess.
Switching pets from one to the next.
There you go. That's the guy.
Santa. We'll go there.
I like that. Fletcher should be banned from a lot of real world things as well.
Absolutely.
I watched the video of you playing bass. What can't you do? You're like a true artist.
I don't know. I cannot. Well, I can't really. No, I can't draw. No, I just had I had a history in music, so I mean, I've done my main kind of things that I've done is. In my kind of professional adult life, I was going to be a pilot. That was my big thing. I was on the way to being at first a fighter pilot, and then kind of in the RAF, and I got into the RAF, got my fighter pilot scholarship, and then dropped out to go and play. Well, then I thought, military and me don't get on. So I thought, why not do commercial piloting, do that sort of thing? That costs a lot of money. And so at the same time, I was playing bass. Been playing for, I want to say about 15, 20 years now. And so, one of my friends basically said, I'm going to this music academy in just nearby in another city in the UK. And I thought, fuck it, why not? So studied contemporary music and bass for 2 years, came out with a couple of diplomas, high diplomas. And it's just something I've always had a bass in the corner. Had to sell all my basses when I moved here. I took one, and just something I never really show off, because I'm always I don't do it often as much as I used to, at least, which is kind of a great shame. But I just thought I'd kind of try not to show off, but share. It's a very fine line. Hopefully I kind of straddled that. But it's just something that I really enjoy playing. But music is always a big part of my writing, as I think I've discussed before, in terms of the amount of music I listen to while I write. And so, it's a big part of my life. It's kind of fun to show that off. It took me about 20 takes.
Did it really? It looks smooth as hell.
That was probably the 21st take. But I've got a big history in kind of background in funk, in metal primarily, and then just kind of that virtuoso style that I don't know, I just love watching and can kind of do some of it. I'm really not as good as I used to be, but thank you. I
don't know, man. You look damn impressive. You shouldn't have told everybody it was 20 takes. I think, you know what? Let's scratch that. I'll edit that. You know how much I do editing on this show. You know what though? Like you transitioned. I don't know when you started this, but you've transitioned. I know you've always been a big vlogger. You've always been putting out really cool videos, but you've kind of made a big impact into TikTok.
I think hopefully, yeah, I've been trying. Yeah, I've had a couple of few successful videos that I mean, I've always trying to be always try to be kind of funny. Humor is also a big part of my life and my books, especially. There's always kind of some dark and evil wit running through it to kind of balance out, you know, the murder scenes, the battle scenes, and the pure evil people I create. And so yeah, I just it's I don't know, it's something that's always kind of stuck out for me. I like to think I'm funny, and so I find myself doing or sharing a lot of funny things. And yeah, TikTok I really enjoy, because I've kind of stepped away from longer form video. I had loads of plans last year, or even the year before, dear Lord. And then pandemic struck, and I was going to do a lot of traveling. Yeah, I was going to do a series called like Road to a Million, which is like a Road to a Million sales, and do it kind of in a nomadic way where I'm just like, you know, different places. And yeah, no, COVID just, you will not do that. And so that's kind of been a bit of a bummer. So yeah, I'd like to get back into the kind of, I mean, I've been doing the author interviews, the author lounge, which has been great fun. Especially
now a podcast, everybody.
Now a podcast, Spotify.
And yeah, plug.
Thank you. I loved it. I'll slip you that 20 out afterwards. Yeah, since then, I mean, I also do kind of instructional videos and, you know, how not to self-publish, how to publish, how to do this and that, how to write. So yeah, I want to do more of them, more of the author lounge. But TikTok is, I mean, it's quick and easy. You can get a video out there in like under a minute sometimes, which is for kind of someone who's doing a lot of different things all the time. Yeah, I kind of work, I don't know, between I would say 10 and 12 hours a day on good days, most of the week. So it's nice when I've got a lot of admin and also writing to do. I can just feel like, do this. But again, yeah, it's fun.
You've had a few hits on there, though. One of the videos had like 28,000 views. Yeah. That's a lot.
I know. Yeah, it got me like I think most of my followers actually from that video as well. And that's real fun. Just yeah, author life stuff, which a couple of other people do, but I really enjoy kind of showing that side of it, and something I've always done through social media. You know, here's where I write. Here's what I'm struggling with, you know, this day, and you know, here's a quirk of author life that we all know exists.
Right.
Yeah, just that kind of funny thing. Weirdly, I have been doing that. I look back on my YouTube, and I did, I think, a very similar video to that in like 2013 or 14 or something. So yeah, it's nothing changes when you're an author. It's all the same.
It's all a fucking circle. I will say that is something that has always impressed me about you. You know, I've had the opportunity to talk to, yeah, take your flowers because here comes the bomb. No, I'm kidding. So, you know, something you've always done is you've always made sure to engage with whatever the newest form of like social media or however you could get yourself out there. And you've always done it like well. And I think that for people who are looking to promote themselves, I know that's the biggest thing that I hear from self-published authors. I don't really know how to market myself. Well, I mean, at least like you try everything.
I do. Yeah, it gives you a lot of insight. I mean, I come from a marketing background. I used to be employed as a marketer, worked in some big companies as a freelancer as well. And you know, that was a real kind of useful thing. But I always say, you know, social media, you know, talking about that as a marketing angle, so many people make the mistake of talking, you know, in a salesy sort of way, is how I put it. You know, they're copywriting, you know, to sell a book. And unfortunately, some authors out there don't really know how to do that, and they just type buy my book, you know, hashtag buy my book, new books. It's not the way it happens. I mean, social media is social media for a reason. It's not sales media. You know, we don't like being marketed at as people. So then when it comes to marketing, yeah, that's where a lot of authors fall down. So I've always tried to kind of key into the idea and the concept that I learned over the years of triggering emotions. So that's why I stick to, you know, a lot of humor. And that's how social media works. We find something funny, it defines us, we share it. It's the emotional tag to it. And so, yeah, it doesn't work every time, but if I'm trying to provide something and trigger an emotion or trigger just even interest, and it doesn't work all the time. Funnily enough, on like, hey guys, here's what I want to, and yeah, it's, you know, obviously certain things work better, but it's about finding a niche, a lot of like experimentation, a lot of trial and error. It doesn't happen overnight as well, even with, you know, virality. You know, if you can put out a same tweet as, you know, a new person on Twitter, for example, and let's say you got like 50 followers, and you can put out the same tweet that like, I don't know, account that's got 100,000, and obviously their followers are going to give them the bigger boost and stuff like that. So it can feel like you're shouting into the void, especially when you start out. It's frustrating. But yeah, I always say persevere, think about, you know, what you want from each tweet. Engagement is key as well. Don't always be broadcasting,
Right.
Obviously using Twitter as an example, this applies to pretty much every social media platform, and a lot of marketing in general. The emotion, triggering in can't talk, the emotional triggering. And otherwise, yeah, it's just I would say, yeah, don't always broadcast, engage with people. Twitter is a great example.
Right.
It's just a constant conversation, and that's what's fun about it. It's also what's hellish about it, depending on which conversations you're in. But yeah, it's just all about keeping going, chatting to people, acting like a human, and yeah, finding what works.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm keying into two things that you're saying there. If you don't shout though into the void, then definitely no one's gonna hear you. So you gotta at least try.
Yep, exactly, 100%. Yeah.
And maybe if instead of shouting into the void, you talk to someone else who also feels like they're in the void, and now all of a sudden you got a connection. I mean,
oh, yeah, it's fantastic. I remember like the dark ages back in 2010. I think I've been on Twitter since 2010 now. God. And I just remember.
Wow, that feels crazy. That's like
more
than a decade.
I think I just hit 50,000 tweets as well. I don't want to do the math on how many tweets a year or day, but either way, someone else can do that.
This isn't a math podcast. You can say whatever number you like and we'll believe
math.
It.
It's about words. Honestly, I hate math. This is why I have I think I got at one point I had like 3 accountants. Just feel like, please take everything away from me. I don't want to do this.
You have accountants checking the accountants because you just don't want to look at the numbers.
No, I hate it. This is why, I'm used to looking at numbers when it comes to sales and to ads and things like that. And those numbers make sense. Financial reporting, things like that, and just general maths. I'm like, oh, what's this? Add this. I'm just like, nope. I don't want to do it. Yeah. But yeah, 2010. But back in the day, it definitely was, shouting out into a void because, there weren't as many self-publishing authors, especially self-publishing fantasy authors that there are now. And so I've just seen this community just explode, and it just feels amazing to be, on Twitter, on Facebook, in the groups, even in private Slacks, Discords, TikTok. It's been amazing to see how BookTok has just exploded in the reviewer community as well. It's unbelievable. You try and explain it to someone who's not on TikTok, and you're like, but young people don't read books. It's like, TikTok is full of many different demographics, and books are still very much alive and well. And so, yeah, it's been, Bookstagram is another great example. BookTube, BookTok is also a extension of that. And you'd think that, well, is this going to be big on this platform? Of course.
Right.
Especially audiobooks as well. New formats get new readers in who might kind of see a book and be like, that's too big and wooden. Or even don't like reading on a Kindle. Audio. So, it's just a fantastic time we live in. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't want to keep harping on the BookTok thing, but I think BookTok is probably the most engageable, form of promoting a book that I've ever seen. I see the people doing the quick reviews, they read out a few things, and it's it's done in this snazzy, changing ADD kind of way. And you're like, I'm actually pretty engaged in this shit. As opposed to hey, buy my book. This is what's good about it on Twitter. Or, hey, here's a still picture of my book. So I don't know. Exactly. I really like it. I don't often engage in it, but I think that is probably one of the more effective book promoting things that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, like I said, we've all got lower or shorter attention spans these days, which is a psychological problem, I think. But it's the idea of just having something that's easily consumed and gives you all the information, and lets you easily find out where it is. I think that's great. And it's anything that gets you in front of readers. That's another key of marketing. Go where the readers are. Yeah, and those BookTokers. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of either followers or likes per video. And so, if you can get on there, it is good. And some notable bookstagrammers and booktubers as well. Fantasy News, for example, huge, very successful. And it's awesome to see. Yeah. Love it.
Love it. Got to keep those spoons in the pot or whatever. That's not an expression, but let's move on.
You make it one.
There you go. Please do not. We've talked. You've been on the show before. No advice from coming from this end of the microphone is ever going to work. Speaking of numbers that you hate, well, here's a good number: 27,000 views on a TikTok video, but you surpassed that number on money raised for the last Kickstarter.
I did, yes. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. We were just talking before this, weren't we? It's just I put a target up of, for anyone, kind of give you the overview. I am turning. I'll just grab it.
Let's go. And Ben has ran away. He is no longer interested in the interview for the audio listeners.
I was telling this one, I haven't yet got the actual, full-on illustrated hardcover, but I'm turning that, I'm about to turn that book, The Written, which was my debut fantasy novel, into an full-on illustrated, beautiful hardcover that you'd expect from some of the top presses out there. Yeah, we hit stretch goals after stretch goals as well. And yeah, I did it on Kickstarter and set a goal of 7,500. And then I think, we've raised just under 33,000 Canadian dollars. Seeing it do that, I mean, we were fully funded in 8 hours. Thanks to everyone who supported it. And
shout out to all you.
Exactly. I mean, it is honestly so heartwarming, humbling, mind-blowing at the same time, but also exciting because now I get to do it with all the bells and whistles and the trimmings that I wanted to do and wasn't sure if we were going to raise. So blew my expectations out of the water. And massive thank you to anyone who's watching who backed. And this little thing will be coming a big hardcover with lots of images in it very soon, hopefully delivering by March. There's a lot of work, mostly in the setup as well. Kickstarters aren't to be taken lightly, even if you're doing something very small. A lot of authors use them in different ways, just to fund their time while they're writing a book, special editions, audiobooks, lots of things. And haven't run one since 2014. We did a graphic novel. So it was kind of, how do I do this? I remember. And then they've obviously added some settings and things in the meantime. So it's great. I mean, it's a very easy platform to use. You can achieve a lot from it. And I'm just, now I've got 3 more Kickstarters to do over the next year and a half to turn book 2, Pale Kings, 3 and 4, Death Stars Part 1 and 2. So we're going to have a full set with a slipcase by the end of 2020. Maybe 2, probably 2023, start 2023.
Well, everybody be prepared. This guy hit so many stretch goals, he was in danger of snapping.
I ran out. I was like, I can stretch Armstrong. I could not think of anything else. Because also I don't want to use up all the good stuff. I want things to happen for Pale Kings that are exciting. And I've got 3 more chances. But I was just like, what the hell do we do now? It just kept going. In the end, I think I stuck to like 7 or 8, and that was it. We'll do them on the next book.
The price of success, everybody. Woo! And I was complimenting him. I was complimenting Ben about before we got on this, recorded thing, but I'm not willing to blow any more smoke up his ass because this guy is killing it. You know what I am doing though that I found very helpful? I'm currently taking your Reedsy course.
Oh, sweet. That was fun to do as well.
How did that even come about? You're like a professor now too.
Wow. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people, without blowing my own trumpet too much, because you can probably tell I'm just like slowly sinking behind the microphone.
This is what you're here for. I'm here to promote you.
True. It's that Britishness of mine. Like, oh, thank you. Couldn't possibly. I've known Ricardo, the CEO of Reedsy, fantastic dude. I mean, like,
seems like a good guy to know.
He's done a lot of things for the self-publishing industry. Either through Reedsy or through, initiatives like, the short courses and making sure the right information gets out there. And obviously he does like email courses as well. And he's got his finger on the pulse in terms of, marketing and self-publishing. Fantastic. And me and Ricardo met, I want to say, literally back in the day, like, probably text me after this, 2012, I'm going to say, roughly around there. And so, I've always been not involved in Reedsy, but always, been a keen, watcher of what it does and, a supporter of it. Because I'm a self-publishing consultant as well since 2012, 2011.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time. That's exciting stuff.
That's it. So, I mean, I use Reedsy myself, I help other authors through Reedsy. And then, just a chance came up to write this course, this, delivered via email course. And it's great fun. And it's really easily digestible, hopefully, hopefully still. And it's just, again, not to talk about it at length, but just helping other authors is like the other half of me. I've been doing since, for a long time, like I said, and been a Guardian masterclass tutor on the subject and done it in the US, done it here in Canada and back in the UK and Scotland. UK and Scotland. The UK is
there you go. I still don't know what that, I still don't understand that. And I talk to people from there all the time. The Reedsy course is excellent. I'm incapable of learning new things, so I'm having trouble digesting it, but it is digestible. It's amazing.
Score. I'll take that.
Speaking of the self-publishing consulting, one of my things that I love that you do, you're a hero, by the way, to many, many people, is you flame fake publishers. And
hate them.
You recently hate them. I hate them too. You recently had some beef with Outskirts Press.
That I did. Yeah, so obviously they have a lot of staff, these companies, these package publishers who, for anyone who's kind of not come across them, hopefully
watch his videos on this, by the way.
They go I've got one, how not to self-publish,
and it's excellent. He's
went
calling people up and flaming them.
Yeah, that was fun, doing all the sort of what's it called, or just like kind of calling up and trying to catch them out, because that's the thing, they've got a lot of staff who are obviously kind of just given what to do. They're given an objective of selling their services to authors, so it's not like it's the people at the top and the people are obviously kind of planning it. So unfortunately, one of these people kind of reached out to me and just said, hey, we'd love to offer you this romance book, and it's kind of their PR angle. And it's that person I emailed back and was like, kind of walking up with a bit of a bee in my bonnet, and that person's like, I kind of know I'm leaving this company, I can't wait to get out, this is not like what I want to do. So I think the people on the ground floor absolutely know what's going on. But yeah, that was just an ill-timed email. I'd had a bit of a tough morning, and I was like, I'm gonna let you have it. So that's good. But yeah, it's the newest one. I've not newest, but one of the kind of I haven't, in that video, for example, where I was taking them on, I don't think it was one that I mentioned. I was more tackling kind of the author central, so Author House, Archway Publishing, and they kind of were bought up by Penguin. So Penguin have got a lot to do with this. Yeah, you could dig into that if you wanted to. And so in any case, they are just terrible companies. They provide what look like fantastic packages. Packages are the key. They lump everything in together, usually under a black and white publishing or color publishing deal, or ebook, hardback, paperback, that sort of thing. And then they'll tab on different things. It is literally like you'll pay like $1,000 to get like a choice between 3 different cover templates, and they are shocking. They are just like, I don't know, made by some chimp somewhere. And honestly, they are bad. They're like kind of Microsoft Word art bad.
If I made a cover, that's how they'd look.
Yeah, or me, right? That's exactly what
I don't know, man. I've seen some of the work you've done.
Well, I mean, Heavy Lies the Crown was an absolute, I don't know how I pulled that off. And with my girlfriend's help, and also just she's the actual artist. But otherwise me and art don't get on. But these publishers, they just take authors for a ride. They'll charge you as much as they can. They act like car salesmen or any type of unscrupulous salesman by just tabbing all these different things. You could easily spend, I mean, I've known authors who have spent $15,000 with them and got nothing back. So they completely ruin your chances. Either that, or if they don't completely ruin it, they'll put you on such a terrible back foot that it's it'll take ages to extricate yourself from them, or republish. You got to do all again anyway, because you shouldn't really be using any of their stuff that they give you. So Outskirts Press kind of came across or came into my sights, and just anytime I find one, I always get the word out. But the problem with Outskirts is that they use kind of like not a TripAdvisor, but it's a Trustpilot. I think they use Trustpilot reviews or something similar, basically a review platform, which it looks like they just paid, or kind of said them, like, this is the review we want. If they didn't, then something's going on in the background, because they're voted the #1 self-publishing platform or company or platform, of every year. And it's just absolute bollocks. They in no way are good. They're not the best at all. They should be on there for like one of the worst. Their prices are lower than some people out there, but I'm getting there now.
Look how passionate you're all fired up. I love this.
I know. I'm just like swiveling about in my chair. They almost got me. That's the thing.
They almost got you?
Yeah, well, not quite. Because I was in the marketing and sort of I'd been marketing industry, and also been a salesman as well, for quite a few years. I could just smell the bullshit. But the packages, it took me like a moment to realize that wasn't the option. And it took me, days of research to figure out the alternatives. And that's what they prey on. It's the fact that self-publishing, even though it's become standardized, is can be difficult for newbies to understand.
Right.
It's absolutely fine. I mean, I had to go through all the research. A lot of people go through the research. That's why consultants like me exist to help. And so that's what these companies, just like get you on. And then before you know it, you've got a substandard product, you paid a lot of money, and you're on a back foot. So
Ben,
don't use them.
Ben bled, so you don't have to. As I said, a hero. If you had eggs Benedict that morning, would you have not sent that email?
Probably, yeah. Eggs Benny does calm me down. Actually, I am one of these people that gets very hangry very quickly. I like my food.
I mean, I think the quote I have is, "Can you tell me, yeah, if I don't get some eggs Benedict in me shortly, I may just perish." Kind of day.
I remember that tweet. Yeah, the thing I was like a month ago or something now. Yeah,
it might have been.
I don't know. Yeah, it's all gone flash by.
So now
yeah,
I imagine.
I do. Yeah.
Now I imagine that. Oh man, I haven't even gotten to ask you about the big thing yet. Spiffbo, you made it. You're a finalist.
Finalist. I know. That's what I mean. God, so much has actually happened in the last. It felt like 2021 has kind of stretched, and then it all happened in the last 3 or 4. I'm just like blown my mind. Kickstarter, SPFBO. I signed a few things that I can't talk about, and yeah, some things. And it's got some book launches coming out next year as well, like 2 or 3, hopefully. And I'm just very excited. So that was just that was kind of like, oh, you happy? Take this, more happiness.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, Jesus. They say,
Oh, I lost you, Mike.
Oh shit, did you? We're having technical difficulties. And I'm going to use this time to promote the Chasing Graves trilogy. It's an excellent trilogy where, someone takes you could read it yourself. It's excellent. We got you back. Were you waiting to see how that promo was? Because I butchered it.
I loved it.
So you're in the club now, man. You made it to finals.
Yeah, it's my second time. I think, it's something that I did with Blood Rush back in the inaugural SPFBO. I think, I was, I know exactly how far I was from winning. I will never forget. So Michael McClung was up there and he won. Shout
out to the thief who pulled on Troubled's braids. Excellent book.
Awesome book. And so well deserved by Mike, but I was 0.25 behind him. So I was just like, it's so close. And so he's kind of been my nemesis ever since then in a playful kind of social media way. And
we love you, Michael.
Yeah, along with we do. Well, secretly do. But and then since then gathered a few more in the form of Mike Fletcher and Dirk, etc., the cabal. But yes, that was kind of, I wanted to get back to that spot, and I just, my releases were kind of, because I'm doing a lot of series. The SPFBO would come out, I don't know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I'd be kind of submitting a book 2, or have the option to submit a book 2, or just a very, very dark book in the form of Chasing Graves, which got close, but it's very dark.
It's fantastic, though. Everybody pick that up. Yeah, you did it, though, man.
In Egyptian mythology in a bit after this call.
Oh, are you? Awesome. Can't wait. So the guy has returned to the mountain for another battle. This year, holy shit, you got some stacked competition.
I really do. I'm in I would say the last couple of years definitely have been so tough, especially with the covers. Cover contests just keep getting hotter and hotter each year. Like I can't even decide. It's like myself and Zammel with Gunmetal Gods, and my God, I mean, that was close.
This kid is killing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've got some random building work going on. Hopefully it's not coming through too much.
Well, we could interview whoever's doing that too. It's an all-inclusive interview. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Talent Mountain. You are here to talk about a book. It feels like we've got so much else to talk about, but
it's not going anywhere.
I think it's time to talk about this year's SPFBO finalist, the Forever King. Oh man, look how ominous. How are you going to get the covers? That should be the stretch goal. If you hit 1 million, holy shit, they're multiplying. If you hit the stretch goal of $1 million, you got to get the real world cover to be animated.
Ooh, yeah, that could be kind of cool.
I don't know if the technology's there, but if anyone could do it, you could
do that. Big screen, just like an old school tablet. That'd be great. I'm on it. Give me
there you go. That actually would not surprise me.
Well, I've got some tech ideas because I'm very techy, so I've got like some things in the works that I'd love to, apps I'd love to launch, but all good things, I'll get to that. I'll get to it at some point.
All right. As always, there are spoilers in this part of it. So if you haven't read the book yet, I don't know what you're doing because it's got a good chance at winning SPFBO this year. So you want to say that you were on it before it got hot. There you go. Look at that. It's not, I don't know how much more you could cross those fingers. They might snap. You're crossing them so hard. Check it out on YouTube if you want to know what the fuck we're talking about. What the hell did Rent the Hoary do that they left him hanging for 3 hours before they let him die?
Interesting. That's a very good question. So from the openings, yeah, it's something I never actually never fleshed out. So I'll have to make that up. Ren Ahoy was a character that I was going to introduce. Very unsavory character involving certain intimate moments with a beast of burden that shall also go unnamed.
So he fucked a horse?
Yeah, well, a donkey, to be fair.
Okay.
Donkey, yeah, why not? Let's do it. That's the beauty of fiction, right?
That's it. As they say, he's an ass man.
Oh,
there you go.
I like that.
I forget what character brought this up, but are dragons ever cold?
Cold? No. They are, unless they are kind of severely injured, or I mean, there's no place in my world that they can go where they're not necessarily cold. There are some which are like completely encrusted with ice, which we haven't seen and might be seeing soon. And there's, but in, ice and you've got the Lost Clans, which are, Northern dragons. Definitely, if they were in our world, they'd be living kind of in the Arctic Circle or Antarctic Circle. Yeah, they are just made of like iron and stuff like that. So they've got their inner fires burning, never really get cold. That's why they love, the cold. If they go down to tropical regions, dragons don't sweat either, but they are not happy.
Okay, well, that's good.
My dragons, at least. I know there's a lot of dragon aficionados out there. It's be like, well, actually, this dragon does sweat. That's fine.
Yeah, what does dragon Twitter look like? I've heard that someone on here once was talking about how people get real pissed about dragon Twitter.
Yep. I made the mistake. It wasn't dragon Twitter, but I put out I made the mistake of not phrasing myself very well. And I think I had about 100 comments in an hour just being like, no. And a lot of accusations of me being, very kind of stereotypical, sort of like Western mythology and not focusing on, other, I would say, equally more important mythologies and older mythologies, like Chinese dragons and Chinese mythology. So that was a lesson in not just randomly tweeting while you're still trying to wake up and just be like, what have I got today? Oh yeah, I'll share this.
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah,
it's cool when you get the internet inflamed at you before you even had morning coffee.
Literally, it was like by 10 a.m. my Facebook was on fire, and I was like, backtrack. I think it was being like, I apologize, and I apologize again. Yeah.
Did you apologize
that day?
I'm not apologizing. I'm gonna say fuck you guys who came at Ben.
It was, I didn't word it very well. I worded it in a way like, these are the only dragons, and it was very kind of like a D&D sort of setup, classic sort of dragon setup and naming conventions. I was like, I didn't do it very well. There's a lesson. You just don't want those kind of days on social media, right? You're just thinking like, I want to be nice and happy, and of course you're gonna get bad comments. So that was just a lot of them in one go.
I mean, listen, then I'm screwed because I keep putting out all this negative shit. Were the Inkwelds inspired by Snapchat?
No, talking about like things I've adopted kind of early. I mean, big adopter of most early technologies or platforms, and then I'll test it and then drop it, or kind of keep going. Inkwelds were inspired by. Good question. Oh yeah, they were inspired by just these kind of like vanishing ink books they used to have as a kid.
Okay.
Always like kind of in my notes for years. I think I kind of I wrote like 3 books before I was kind of around like kind of 11 to 12 to 13. I wrote some crazy weird books about monkeys. Sort of.
I need that. I need that.
They'll never see the light of day.
Please, please.
Like hard drive wrapped in like chainmail and then wrapped in a box and then.
Oh my god, the suspense! God damn, I need that.
I looked at them ages ago. Was it? Yeah, I looked at it. It was like last year or the year before, and I was just like, these are shocking. They're like what an 11-year-old. Well, I don't know. They're probably that you could like edit them and publish them, but they wouldn't definitely not be my best work. But a lot of those ideas.
But would it be your worst? That implied like it might not be your worst.
I don't know. It probably would be my worst straight away. People publish it and be like, Ben has gone downhill. Let's just quietly put him aside and never read anything again.
TikTok has melted his brain.
That's it. Yeah. It was Redwall with monkeys, and I had a similar kind of idea in those because I always thought when I was a kid, like, are these messages or things that I'm writing vanishing? Or are they actually going somewhere else? It's like someone just like writing appears like in the Bible or something like that on someone else's wall halfway around the country or world, I should say. So that kind of came from that. And the idea of just having these kind of linked books that, I mean, books are a big part. There's several kind of like book characters in my world. So I mean, like the written mages who are kind of dying out in this series, they have the spell book tattooed on their back, just a full back piece, and that
Sick
is called
tattoo.
the book. Thank you. Yeah, I've never actually. I've tried to draw it, but it's very intricate. I don't know what would happen. And also, yeah, that's called the book. Then we have the Grimsayer, which is this kind of book that's alive. And anyone who's ever died, beast, man, anything, their spirit will show up in the book. You just say the name. But the book's always like whispering, and you're like, what? And then the book will be like, nothing. Not quite like, human, English, but in terms of just like noises. And it's always just like kind of moving and rustling on its own. And yeah, there's the tier books, which dragons keep their memories in. Dragons like live so long that their memories start to kind of cause them problems, like drive them out a little bit. So they can store their memories by just crying into a book.
I had a question about that. I don't know where it is.
Something about
how I was crying, and I wish I could have forgot it by putting it in a book.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
There we go. It would have been funny.
Sorry.
I like that. I feel like if you were like a really good like quick sketch artist, right? Like someone in like New York City, like Central Park type deal, you could make a lot of money, with one of these ink welds, drawing some graphic pictures.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, books just play a huge part. I mean, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I don't know why this one just exhibits it so much. This series, well, both series, Emanesker and Scalussen.
Yeah. Malvis mentions that he once had to hang his entire court. Was that a day that someone wishes they took a sick day?
I bet. Yeah, I absolutely bet. I wouldn't. I mean, you're stupid. Where the main villain of this one, in half of the last one, where he's a minor character and becomes a major character in Dead Stars 2. I'm halfway through Dead Stars 1 and into 2, and he's just the main dude. So it's kind of interesting to like turn him into a proper he's a classic villain. He's people have said it in reviews being like, oh, I just couldn't connect with Malvis. He's a classic villain, but that's exactly what he's styling himself.
Are you saying hero or villain?
Where he's just kind of villain. Did I say hero?
I thought you meant to say hero.
Broke up there a little bit.
Because he's the hero of the story. He's trying to unite everybody.
Well, it's what he sees in his mind. Yeah, he's trying to I want, peace. He's the benevolent dictator, but he's absolutely kind of the detestable dictator behind the scenes as well.
Well, he's got rebels everywhere.
He's trying to do some stuff. Good rebels.
Depends on which side you're looking at.
Yeah, true. Man. I mean, that's the thing. I quite like writing the villains because I do kind of, I don't know, I quite like that side of things. I quite like, if I was Malvis, would I just kind of slide into this real satisfying, swaggering villain archetype? And it's like, yeah, I mean, we have that trope and that archetype for a reason. But yeah, I really enjoyed kind of pushing Malvis into that and using the alternate villain in Loki, who may or may not be the
I think I lost you for a second there. I got you back.
Back there? No worries. Yeah, sorry, it's my internet, my side. We moved in the other day and it's terrible.
I mean, I'm sure that was a profound thought, but we might have lost it.
I can go back.
You want to go back?
Yeah, because I think that question. Yeah, because I think it said my internet was unstable halfway through that question. So I can talk about Malvis again if you want. Don't worry.
Malvis, the hero of the story. That's what I'm gonna edit it to say. I'm just gonna edit that part where you say hero.
Villain.
I got other stuff. Minotaurs eat people, right?
Yes, they do. That's why they got sharp teeth. Yeah. One of my favorite characters, Warbringer.
Right. Sick name, by the way. Why would you choose?
If I can remember how to pronounce her actual name.
It's
Kateri Herodrade. Yeah.
Holy shit. That was impressive. Well, I guess you came up with it.
Thank you. Yeah. I practiced it for this exact situation.
God, you nailed it, man. So Minotaurs, they eat people. Why would they boil people alive? That can't be the tastiest way to cook a human.
Well, they kind of use it as a torture method. So you feature it in the Iron Keys as well, where they do like, sometimes they're kind of particular. So they do like a bit of torture. Sometimes they like a bit of boiled meat. Sometimes they kind of see us humans as dirty. So they're like, well, just boil it. It's like we boil water. But otherwise, yeah, if they and they use it as like a ferocious sort of like way of dominating someone in battle as well. Like, I'm just going to rip your arm off. And of course, like through a lot of this and into Heavy Lies the Crown, will just constantly hungry. So sometimes she doesn't have the patience to boil water. When they're in their camp, they got time. But yeah, she's out on the road and Heavy Lies the Crown is just biting faces off people left, right, and center.
Okay, Farden, you're calling him the hero of this story. I'm not so sure. Would a hero make everybody climb 1,000,000 stairs just to talk to him for a minute?
Oh yeah, I mean, he does that, doesn't he? Yeah, the frost saw.
Have you ever been on a stair climber? They're awful.
Yeah, I know. I used to kind of sadistically like them. For a time, it didn't last long, but for a time, a couple of months, a couple of years ago, when I was much fitter, I used to do the Empire State Building every other day on the stair climb. Just set it to Empire State Building level and just climb and then die.
Then we now know where.
Couldn't do that bit, but
now we know. Yeah, I guess. Then now we know where that came from.
Yeah, it's the sadism. Look at that. It's just also defense as well. I'm up high, you can't get me.
Well, I guess if everybody's so goddamn tired of walking up there, they're not gonna be able to assassinate him.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Unless you've got a dragon.
Right. Well, that kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, that ruins a lot of good defense. Is Grimoran's lap really warm?
I would assume probably too warm. I'd assume you could probably kind of do some barbecuing on there. It's just a giant demon king. Well, sort of the king. Now the king, not quite the biggest king there's ever been. No spoilers for the Emaneska series. And yeah, so yeah, he was a great character as well. Or I should say they do. But yeah, it's something that I think is just I always have demons. There's always a demon somewhere around us, some sort of demon thing, because I just find them so fascinating. I mean, when I was a kid, I had like one book on demonology that I found in some thrift store bookshop, and I was just like, right, what is this? It's a big thick thing, and it just had this really cool I think it was a 17th century painting, or maybe 18th century painting of a demon just sat on a woman's chest while she was sleeping, and I was just like, it looked like this horrible little thing, and I was like, that's not a demon. And so yeah, my demons are just like hulking brutes. They're not kind of these sly little sprites, but they're just, I don't know, they got a lot of character to them as well.
Right.
Deep thinkers, they're ancient beings, they're proud, they kind of know how the world works, and mortals don't quite know. So yeah, they're very kind of regal yet foul creatures. I mean, they stink. Leave like ash everywhere.
I like how your imitation of yourself as a kid had a stronger British accent.
Yes. I worry if my British accent's kind of going away. I did soften it after a while. I had a very posh English accent, and kind of got softened after people were just like calling me posh twat all the time.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. Gotta avoid. It happens though. Do you think anyone, this is the dumbest question that I'm going to ask. Do you think anyone thought that, like, they were invited to play a game of beach combing, right? And they brought an actual comb to the beach and started brushing the sand. And
yeah. Like a rake?
No, like literally like
an actual comb?
Yeah, I mean, that's combing the beach. They were disappointed.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to be a fly on the wall, like especially if it's an archaeologist and it's like their first day. There's some archaeology on the beach. I brought the comb. Or maybe the thing when you're doing someone goes to like send you off to find something, like I don't know, on like left-handed hammer or tartan paint or bubbles for spirit levels. That's what I used to get. Someone get me with once, and I reckon they'd be like, yeah, can you get the comb? You'd be like, which comb? Beach comb? Just over there. Just have some newbie like rooting around in all the bags and the boxes for like 2 hours.
I love that.
That'd be good.
So the Karander, right? They're the volcano people.
Mm-hmm.
They were cool with just getting worked by this volcano.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, there are societies, I think, in culture, and I kind of wanted to portray that they maybe know the apocalypse is coming and are kind of happy to like welcome it. Maybe they think it's a god, and to be honest, Karander do kind of think that there's a god within the actual volcano. within Mansour. So yeah, they kind of just sit there and they're just like, it's coming. The blessed fire will consume us. You know.
Do you think any of them, at the last second, do you think any of them were like, we've made a huge mistake?
Yeah. That's kind of why I put them in there, because I like the bit where you sort of fly past them and it's just like, I can imagine them be like,
oh,
what's that? Yeah, I think it was because there's like Rick and Morty. There's a scene. Oh, it's just like a random scene, but it's this like alien warrior appears and asks Rick to, like kill him off. I don't know if you've seen that scene.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and if he dies in combat, he has a glorious ascension to this amazing, beautiful heaven. And then he's like, Morty puts the doubt in him, and then he's like, no, runs into traffic, dies. It's like, oh my god, it was all real. I love that. I kind of think that probably inspired me at the time. Yeah, because ever since Rick and Morty came out, I'm just obsessed with it. It's one of my favorites.
So good. It's so good.
It's incredible.
Listen, when do you think the Broken Binding is going to start stocking the Hides of Hysteria?
That is, it's another book. There we go. So I think there's another book somewhere around. Hopefully never. No offense to Broken Binding, but I think a book that drives you mad just by like glancing at it is probably not going to be the biggest bestseller. Yeah, or at least it's just going to be a one-time purchase, and then you won't get
right.
Because that could be fun. Yeah, we could get in touch. First, I'd have to get the Hides of Hysteria, which involves a lot of murder. Yeah, and skin carving, which I'm not skinning in general. I'm not really into.
Listen, to each their own. And it's got some good tattoo ideas.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was. I was gonna get that at one point. I mean, like I'm obsessed with tattoos, and slowly will be covered in the next couple of years, and they are going to be very book themed. And I was thinking, could I just design like the full written tattoo and just see if I can get it on my back?
That's a lot of tattooing, man. As someone who's also doing the book tattoo stuff, it's kind of gets hard to keep coming up with good ideas. That's a good one, though.
I know, right? I've got like three-quarters of a sleeve, and I'm going to get that. I'm just like, what the hell do I do on here? It's
right.
Yeah.
All right. I think I got one more for you. Farden. We've already established he's the villain of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe one of us did.
Well, anti-hero,
right. Mostly because of the abuse of his subjects by making them climb this tower all the time. Was his most impressive feat in the book? He did a lot of impressive shit. I'll give him that. The guy did some impressive stuff. Was it when he made that guy shit himself?
That's cool, actually, because that was like quite a throwaway point, wasn't it? Yes. Okay. Was it that? Is there another option? Is there an ABC, or is it just one?
No, that was mostly it. That was, to me, what was the most impressive thing.
Oh my god, yeah, I do remember that, actually. I mean, I love those moments. There's a lot of toilet humor, as I think we talked about.
For Chasing Graves, yeah.
Chasing Graves, right? And yeah, it's just someone shitting themselves is always funny. I think, as long as it's not you. And I think it's just something that I always try and sneak in at some point. And so, yeah, that's probably the best feat, actually. It's like probably the funniest. I don't know if I was going to answer seriously and spoiler free. This is quite liberating being spoiler free, actually.
Right. You could just let it go.
Yeah. I think learning how to manage Mithrid. Like, Mithrid does not want to be managed. She is the main character of the book in a sense. It's her tale. That's why she's on the front. It's badass, right?
One more time for the people. There it is.
And yeah, I just think it's her story, but Farden is integral to it. And like when it switches to his POV, it's all about kind of just like learning about struggling with being a king. And obviously Mithrid is a key part of it. She's the weapon. She's like could be the secret. And so yeah, I think like sort of managing and like battling her power as well. I think that's like something. It's because Farden hasn't had to come up with like a true challenge, I think, in the lead up to this, in terms of just like magic versus magic. So I think it was just fun to see him sort of battle with her power, and it's new and different. And then otherwise, just standing, going full god mode at the end. I've never had him sort of like hover before.
That's true.
Cool. Yeah, full armor.
Kind of tough being
evil Iron Man.
Yeah, kind of tough being a rebel against a benevolent good empire. Well, Ben, this has been wonderful. I've been trying to cut these interviews shorter, but I could not possibly do it. We had so much to talk about. And I am so excited that you came back on. I really appreciate it. Where can people find you?
Anywhere, but you.
God, what a time to lose a guy.
Alley, if not, oh no, you lost me again.
We lost you again. You want to run it again?
Yeah, let's do that again.
Fuck it. You want to do the whole interview again?
Yeah.
So you can find him on social media. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on TikTok. It's all some version of Ben Galley.
That's it. It's pretty much Ben Galley. It's Ben Galley author for Instagram and I've forgotten Instagram and TikTok. Oh no, I'll take that again. Yeah, it's all some variation of Ben Galley. If not, yeah, bengalley.com has all the links. My link tree /Ben Galley, all the links. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. Or Google. That's always a good one as well.
I mean, and he still has a fantastic head of hair in a year. Really appreciate having you on, Ben.
Thanks very much, Mike. It's been a pleasure.
Shout out to Ben. He always comes with the heat. His connection was ass, but that was less his problem and more his internet's problem. But I appreciate him coming on. As I'm looking at this camera, I'm realizing once again it is not centered to me. I'm bad at this with the video, and I'm trying my best. So, be patient. I've got a big announcement. Next week, I've got a humongous guest coming on the show. You know him. You love him. His name is Jonathan French. He's coming to talk about his book, The Free Bastards. I was so goddamn excited to get to talk to him. I'm a huge fan of the Lotlands, and he did not disappoint. So for the last episode of the year, I'm beyond excited to bring an extra special guest. Keep on reading or something. Peace.